Emelia steps off the bus with excitement, filled with big dreams about her future at the university in Accra. She's aware of her impressive physical appearance, with curves that turn heads wherever she goes, but she tries to stay focused on her studies. However, the weight of her family's struggles back in the village soon presses on her mind. Emelia's initial excitement fades as the harsh reality of university life sets in. She doesn't have the resources to fully focus on school and starts to feel like she's lost in a sea of expectations. Desperate for money, Emelia meets a group of students who seem to have everything: confidence, power, and wealth. They're involved in the drug trade, but Emelia initially resists their offers. She knows the dangers of such a path but feels trapped as she can't afford to ignore the financial pressures. The allure of quick money begins to chip away at her reservations. Emelia succumbs to the temptation and begins running small errands for the drug dealers. The money is good, and soon she is making enough to help her family back home. However, the darker side of the business starts to unfold before her eyes. She begins to lose herself in the lifestyle, putting her future and safety at risk. Emelia's involvement with the dealers becomes more intense, and soon she finds herself in situations where violence and betrayal are common. She begins to doubt her choices, but feels too far gone to turn back. Her body shape, once a source of confidence, now becomes a tool of manipulation in the underworld. She feels trapped, both by her circumstances and by her physical appearance. Kwame, an engineering student with no connections to the underworld, crosses paths with Emelia during a university event. He notices her distress, even though she hides it well. Kwame is drawn to her intelligence and beauty, but more so to the vulnerability he senses behind her confident exterior. He offers her a hand, but Emelia is hesitant, unsure of how someone like him could possibly help someone like her. Emelia grapples with her growing guilt over her involvement in the drug trade. She constantly fears for her safety and the safety of her family. Her body, once a source of pride, now feels like a burden. She can't shake the feeling that she is slowly losing herself to the life she never imagined. Despite Emelia's resistance, Kwame doesn't give up. He continues to offer her support and friendship, slowly chipping away at the walls she has built around herself. Emelia starts to confide in him, sharing her struggles and fears. She begins to see Kwame as a beacon of hope, someone who doesn't want anything from her except her well-being. Emelia's involvement with the drug dealers takes a dangerous turn when she becomes entangled in a violent confrontation. She narrowly escapes, but the incident leaves her shaken. She realizes how close she came to losing everything, including her life. The terror of that moment is enough to make her reconsider her choices. With Kwame's unwavering support, Emelia begins to distance herself from the drug dealers. She feels conflicted, her family still needs money, and the temptation to return to her old ways is strong. However, she starts to see a glimmer of hope in the future Kwame envisions for her. It's a future where she can rebuild her life, free from the darkness that has consumed her. Emelia's decision to break away from the drug trade doesn't come without consequences. The dealers make it clear they won't let her go without a fight. Emelia is forced to confront the danger of her choices head-on, with Kwame by her side every step of the way. Kwame makes a promise to Emelia that he will always protect her, no matter the cost. His love for her grows stronger, and he begins to question everything about the world he thought he understood. He is willing to risk his own future to save her from the dark path she has been walking. Emelia finally breaks free from the drug dealers, but the process is not easy. She must leave behind everything she has known, including the dangerous allure of the lifestyle. Her confidence grows as she steps into the unknown, relying on Kwame and the support he provides to navigate this new chapter of her life. Emelia struggles with the trauma of her past life in the drug trade. Even though she's free from the grip of the underworld, the scars remain, both physical and emotional. She feels the weight of guilt for her actions and fears that she may never escape the shadow of her past. Kwame, noticing her inner turmoil, urges her to focus on the future, but Emelia finds it difficult to believe in a brighter tomorrow. Emelia starts working on rebuilding her education but finds herself constantly haunted by the fear that others know about her past. She feels like she's being judged, and trust is something she finds hard to give. Kwame, ever patient, understands her fears but encourages her to trust again, not just him, but herself. The deeper she gets into her studies, the more she finds herself questioning her worth and abilities. Emelia struggles with guilt when a familiar face from her past resurfaces, threatening to undo all the progress she's made. The encounter brings back painful memories, and for a moment, she contemplates going back to the life she once knew. Her fear of failure becomes overwhelming. Kwame, noticing the shift in her behavior, tries to reach her, but Emelia pulls away, too proud and too broken to admit she needs help. Kwame, unable to bear seeing Emelia's struggle, sits her down and opens up about his own fears and dreams. He tells her how much he believes in her potential and that he's willing to stand by her no matter what. His honesty shakes Emelia to her core, and she starts to realize that love isn't just about saving someone, it's about growing together, facing fears together, and being vulnerable with one another. Emelia decides to take a step back from the intense pace of her life. She focuses on herself, her studies, and her mental health. Kwame supports her, but with some distance. She goes on a retreat to the countryside to clear her mind, allowing herself to heal. During this time, Emelia realizes the importance of self-love and finds a new strength within herself. After the retreat, Emelia returns to university with a new sense of purpose. She works hard to improve her grades, and her confidence starts to build again. Her physical appearance, once a tool of attraction, no longer defines her. She begins to appreciate herself for her intelligence, resilience, and kindness. Kwame is proud of her progress, but Emelia still faces the lingering fear of being judged. As Emelia's life starts to normalize, a crisis arises when a close friend from the drug world reaches out for help. This individual is in trouble and needs Emelia's assistance, pulling her back into the shadows of her past. Faced with this dilemma, Emelia is torn between her desire to help and the need to protect herself and the life she's built with Kwame. The weight of her decision proves too much for Emelia, and she makes a choice that leaves her feeling deeply conflicted. She helps her old friend, but the act comes with unforeseen consequences. This betrayal of her own values sends Emelia into a spiral of guilt and confusion. Kwame's faith in her is shaken, and their relationship faces its toughest challenge yet. Kwame confronts Emelia, and they have a heart-to-heart conversation about the choices she made. Emelia confesses her guilt, but Kwame listens without judgment. They both understand that healing is not linear, and mistakes are part of the journey. With renewed understanding, they reconcile, stronger and more determined to face the future together. Emelia begins volunteering at a local community center, helping young women who are at risk of falling into the same traps she did. Through this work, she finds purpose beyond her personal struggles. She realizes that her pain can be a tool for empowerment, inspiring others to avoid the same mistakes. This shift in perspective helps Emelia feel more in control of her life. Kwame continues to support Emelia as she rebuilds her life, but their relationship is tested when Emelia is offered a scholarship to study abroad. The decision to leave Ghana for a better future weighs heavily on her. She must choose between her love for Kwame and her ambitions for a new life. After much reflection, she decides that love does not mean holding her back, but rather supporting each other's growth. In the end, Emelia chooses to take the scholarship. While parting ways with Kwame is painful, both understand that they must follow their individual paths for now. Their bond remains strong, and they promise to reunite once they've accomplished their respective dreams. Emelia arrives in the new country, overwhelmed but determined. She throws herself into her studies and starts to build a new life, one that is far removed from the shadows of her past. However, the culture shock and loneliness are difficult to navigate. She feels homesick but draws strength from the lessons she learned in Ghana. Back in Accra, Kwame continues his studies but struggles with the absence of Emelia. He faces his own challenges, his engineering projects, the pressure of exams, and the weight of their separation. He wonders if their relationship can survive the growing distance between their lives. Emelia begins to feel the weight of her isolation in the new country. The unfamiliar environment makes her question whether she made the right decision to leave Ghana. Despite her academic achievements, loneliness lingers. She constantly compares her new life to the one she left behind, and doubts creep in. However, her memories of Kwame's unwavering faith in her and the support of the women she met back home push her forward. Emelia's life takes an unexpected turn when she runs into a familiar face at a conference for international students. It's one of the students from the drug trade she once knew in Ghana. He recognizes her and, to her horror, tries to blackmail her, threatening to expose her past. Emelia is terrified but recalls the strength she found in Kwame's belief in her. With quick thinking and newfound confidence, she escapes the confrontation and decides to confront her past head-on. Emelia starts seeking therapy to confront her trauma from the past. The process is painful, and she often feels overwhelmed by the things she's buried inside. But slowly, she unpacks the layers of shame and guilt she's carried with her, realizing that healing isn't about erasing the past, but about learning from it. Through her therapy sessions, Emelia begins to reclaim her sense of self-worth, independent of the choices she made in the past. Kwame faces a turning point when he receives a letter from Emelia, telling him about the struggles she's been facing and how far she's come. The letter deeply moves him, and he realizes that he needs to let go of his doubts. Kwame decides to visit Emelia, despite the uncertainty about what lies ahead for them. He wants to stand by her side, even if it means taking risks. Kwame arrives in the new country to see Emelia, and the reunion is both joyful and bittersweet. They talk about their individual journeys and the emotional challenges they've faced. It becomes clear that while they both have grown and changed, the love they share has not wavered. They discuss their dreams for the future and how they can support each other's paths, realizing that they are stronger together, despite the time and distance apart. Emelia finds a deeper purpose in her new life. She begins mentoring young women in the community, helping them avoid the same pitfalls she encountered. Her work becomes a source of fulfillment and healing, and she finds peace in knowing that she is making a difference. The more she gives, the more she receives, and her self-worth continues to grow. Kwame returns to Accra and continues his studies, but he's faced with an opportunity to take an internship abroad as well. The possibility of being away from Emelia weighs heavily on him. He realizes that, for the sake of their future, he may have to let her go if it means she can build her career without being held back by him. His love for her is selfless, and he's ready to make a sacrifice to ensure she reaches her full potential. After much soul-searching, Kwame decides to accept the international job offer, despite the pain of being apart from Emelia. He believes that their love is strong enough to withstand the separation and that this opportunity will ultimately benefit both of them. As he prepares to leave, he shares an emotional farewell with Emelia, promising that this is just a temporary chapter in their lives. Emelia, though heartbroken, supports his decision, knowing that both of their careers will lead them to greater opportunities. As Kwame settles into his new job abroad, the distance between him and Emelia begins to weigh on their relationship. They struggle with time zone differences, communication barriers, and the loneliness that comes with being apart. Emelia throws herself into her work, but she can't help but feel the void left by Kwame's absence. Though they both understand the importance of their careers, the emotional strain is undeniable. Emelia continues to grow in her professional life, and as she does, she finds that she is becoming more self-sufficient. She uses the time apart to focus on her goals, finding fulfillment in her work and the difference she is making in the lives of others. She begins to understand that personal growth doesn't just come from romantic relationships, but from learning to stand on her own. Kwame, despite his career success abroad, faces his own challenges. He begins to question whether the sacrifices he's made are worth it, especially as he realizes how much Emelia has changed in his absence. He starts to wonder if their relationship can survive the growing distance between their lives. This inner conflict threatens to unravel the progress they've both made. Emelia faces her own moment of doubt when a major opportunity arises that could help her expand her advocacy work, but it requires her to move to a new country. The decision comes with the potential for even more separation from Kwame, and she is torn between her personal and professional goals. She begins to question whether the love they share can withstand the emotional toll of such an ambitious career. Emelia returns to Ghana to visit her family and take some time to reflect on her life. The time away from the chaos of her career allows her to reconnect with her roots and gain perspective on the future she truly wants. During this time, she also realizes that she has the power to shape her own destiny, regardless of where life takes her. Kwame, during one of his visits to Ghana, surprises Emelia with a heartfelt proposal. He has realized that the most important thing in life is being with the person you love and who supports you through thick and thin. Emelia is overwhelmed with emotion but knows that her journey has led her to this moment. She agrees, knowing that they are ready to face the future together, no matter what challenges arise. Emelia and Kwame begin planning their future together, making decisions about where they want to live and how they can balance their careers. They discuss their shared dreams and mutual respect for each other's goals. This moment is one of reconciliation, where they realize that their love has been the anchor that has kept them grounded through all the turbulence of their lives. Emelia and Kwame embark on a new chapter of their lives, ready to take on the world together. With their shared commitment to each other and their respective careers, they are determined to build a future that reflects both their dreams and their past struggles. Emelia reflects on her journey, how far she has come from the young woman who first arrived in Accra, full of dreams but lost in uncertainty. She realizes that every challenge, every heartbreak, and every victory has led her to this moment. She has finally found balance, purpose, and love in her life. Emelia and Kwame's wedding is a celebration of love, resilience, and the journey they have shared. Surrounded by friends, family, and supporters of their respective causes, they commit to a future full of possibility. Their love, tested by time and distance, stands as a testament to the power of growth, sacrifice, and unwavering commitment. Together, they begin a new chapter, one where their dreams are no longer shadows, but bright lights leading them forward.